everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you have a wonderful week and I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Okay. This week I'm going to do a weekly reading opposed to a daily reading. Given we've got the full moon in Scorpio, I think that giving you what we see at the beginning of the week will kind of help navigate you through the week and things you may come up against. Okay. I know we've already been feeling the effects of this. So that's why I think too this is the best route to go. So I hope you agree and I hope it helps you. Okay, forewarned is forearmed, right? Okay, we come in with the 9 of Cups. Okay, we've got the 5 of Coins. Clarifier on that card is the 7 of Wands. Okay, we've got the 3 of Wands. Clarifier is the Queen of Coins. Our focal in this read is the Ace of Wands. Clarifier is the 10 of Cups, sorry. Okay, now we've got the High Priestess. Clarifier is the 10 of Wands. Page of Swords. Clarifier is the 7 of Coins. And the most likely outcome, okay, given free will here, guys, right, is the 8 of Cups. The only Arcana card in here that we've got that can't be changed is the High Priestess, right? And I think that that's ironic in a very humorous way, and you'll see why. So what I'm saying here is anything you don't hear in this reading that you don't like, you can change in an instant just by changing how you're thinking about it, what you're doing about it, how it relates to you, and what you can change. Okay, that's why I think that this will be a great opportunity to do this as a weekly reading. Like I say, the only card in here that cannot be changed is the High Priestess. She's an Arcana card, okay? And she's showing up in your blind spot. So she will be your surprise for the week, okay? I really think that what we have going on here today, and it's going to depend where Scorpio sits in your chart too. This is a general reading, guys, general reading, okay? So I'm going to get as close to everything as I possibly can, but the High Priestess coming in here in your blind spot is saying that what this is going to highlight for you, what this full moon will highlight for you, are basically the harsh realities of life, right? When we do or don't make conscious choices for ourselves, right? When we go against basically our conscience, what we know we should be doing, but we're just not doing it for whatever reason, right? I'm not judging anyone, good, better, and different. We all know we should make choices at certain points in our lives, and for whatever reasons, we all don't sometimes, right? It's different for everyone. But what's coming in here is she's sitting in your blind spot. So if you've made conscious choices for yourself and you know they're serving you well, that's wonderful. But given her clarifiers, the 10 of Wands, I'm going to say here that that again can play out for many of you different ways. That can represent a clearing, an ending and a beginning of something that's been a little heavy, right? It could be wanting more, right? But we come in with the 9 of Cups, okay, which is a wish card. Okay, but given that we've got the 8 of Cups coming in on the outbound, which means that, again, I want to bring this up too, okay, because it's not in this read, but I want to bring it up for a specific reason here to show you something. The High Priestess in your blind spot, right? What she represents is, you know, some things in life we have to learn by doing them, right? And the harsh reality comes in with, you know, that stung or that really worked, one of the two. But some things in life people can't tell you, right? You need to just experience them through life. The Temperance card, which is not in here, but the reason I'm telling you this is because when that card shows up, it's usually that we've crossed over and not listened to our conscience, right? Because that card is a card of knowing who you are, know thyself, right? And the other side of that Temperance card is that you know just enough how to push it to the limit right, of life, living it to the fullest, enjoying everything to almost excess, right? Like you know just where to stop before the road goes out, right? And I'm bringing that up because once you get to that point, that's what you're trying to recalibrate in your life. There is trying to get your footing back because you've over indulged in something, or you've not listened to your intuition, or you've not made a conscious choice, and now you're reaping the rewards of the staying power, the consequence, so to speak, of that. Okay. And the only reason that I bring that in is because we come in with the 9 of cups and we go out with the 8, which means that something is going to need to be looked at this week, or something's going to be brought to the surface. Okay. We come in with the 9 of cups. That is a wish card when you know who you are and you know your value in life, you know the things that are important. You're not weighed down by material things, right? You can have a lavish lifestyle, but you need to know that needs to be in balance. It needs to be in balance with consistent growth, right? Because that is what we're here to do. We're here to grow, to let our soul grow, right? And that's where the high priestess comes into. Now, what we have here is the 5 of coins and the 7 of wands. Okay, I'm gonna say here, when I threw this down, all I kept hearing was someone is just not. They're gonna bring it to the mat, like they're gonna push the envelope here because they're just hell-bent on doing something their way, and they're gonna hang on to something for dear life, right? They're just not gonna, they're not gonna be and some people are that stubborn, right? They know they're I don't know honestly what would drive someone to do something like that. If your life is repeatedly hitting a wall, right? You know at some point you're gonna need to make a change here. I don't know anyone who would be stubborn enough to want to live you know, with the repercussions of some mistakes. It's you've got to be resilient here. Okay, so I'm going to point that out there too. If you find that you're stuck, right, like one way of thinking, you're not going to look at something in another way. There's just absolutely no way you're going to do it. This is going to be a fall from grace for you. That's what the week will put in here to show you that you've got to be flexible, because the natural order of things is the way to go here. And the funny thing is that Scorpio is the house of uh, it's the house of rebirth, right? It's the house, though, of when you let go and you let the natural order of things unfold. Your life is beyond wanderlust. It really is, and I put that in there because it's magical. Okay, and very few people though reach that, because it's a tough angle, because what it's coming in with is it's opposite. There is Taurus, right? Taurus does not like change. They don't. They like to go slow, steady, put it on a list. They want to see what's in front of them. They want to see how it's going to play out, right? But sometimes the holdup there is that you really get stuck and you end up conking out and paralyzing yourself, and nothing gets done, right? So I want to say this. What you want to do here too is, I'll go through the cards, but I want to go back to, you know, the house of Taurus there. If you don't in that house really protect, use, manage your resources correctly, you suffer the fall from grace, which in here can be that 7 of coins, right? That's in your blessing spot. So again, the natural order of things, okay? And this comes back to, really, you've got to shoot back to that first house of what your the house of Aries, right? The I am. Because when you don't know who you are, and that's where I was going with the Temperance card, that's the know thyself card, and you know it really clear once you've hit that point, because that fall from grace will pull you right out of your comfort zone of Taurus, right? But the priestess does it gently, and it's with sensitivity, and it's with trust, and that's all within yourselves, right? So where I'm going here is that 7 of wands with the 5 of coins there. You don't want that to be you, because that is material success but spiritual bankruptcy. And that's when that Nine of Cups becomes overindulgent, right? It becomes, I'm financially secure, but I'm empty on the inside, right? Which eventually is going to catch up with you. So when that happens, it ends up being that fall from grace. Okay, so what we've got here in what's upcoming for you is the Three of Wands. Okay, that's a card of starting something. It's the starting something, right? Now you are waiting to see how it's received. Okay, now again, you've got the clarifier for that is the Queen of Coins. She wants to see the results. She wants to see the plan, right? She's not going to take the Three of Wands there and say, okay, well, you're not casting a blind stone, right? You kind of have a plan in place. That's the good thing. It's been laid out properly. Now you're just waiting to see, okay? Our focals in here are the Ace of Wands. That is the start of this. It's the start of that Three of Wands, right? And now you're just waiting to see what the outcome is, how it's going to, how it's going to progress forward, because the clarifier for the Ace of Wands is the Ten of Cups. Okay, that Ten of Cups is a card of really the coming together of what you've deployed, be that a relationship, be it a job, be it a project, be it whatever you're doing in your life now. And I'm going to hop really fast to why the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands. Okay, if that were a relationship, the High Priestess is the reciprocal of the Ace of Wands, right? Like the male and female equation would be here. And if your clarifier is that Ten of Cups there, that is maybe a melding of two families. That's maybe a melding of a relationship, two different people. How do we balance each other? What choices are we making in our lives? That are we making conscious choices, or are we rushing something? Because it's just, you want to make choices, conscious choices. You want to be present in the moment, and you want to be. You really want to be 100% present, because if you're not, the choices you make are not going to be to your greater good, right? You're going to end up with that Five of Coins there, where financially you're okay, but together you're not even on the same page at all. And the Seven of Wands would come in there with having to defend each part of this, right? Because Three of Wands and the Queen of Coins there, the Queen of Coins really is diligent. She knows her value. She doesn't squander things. She does things, again, slow and steady. But it's just the beginning of something here. She's clarifying something that's just started, right? So whatever it is, maybe going in a different direction, but it's at the beginning of that, okay? Because your blind spot is the High Priestess, okay? And the clarifier is the Ten of Wands. That could be something going in a different direction. It's the ending and the beginning. It's a 10, right? It's wanting more. It's going in a different direction, but it's also a card of you've had to go through a lot. So is what you're working for, think about it, consciously present, or is it really where you want to go? Okay, that's all I'm saying, because the clarifier for the conscious choice that you're asked here, that may be presenting itself, is the clarifier is the Ten of Wands, right? You could be pushing forward. It can be, the push that you need to go forward, but it's a lot on you, right? So you've got to really think about that. Okay. Now, your blessing spot is the Page of Wands. The Page of Swords, clarified by the Seven of Coins. The Page of Wands in here, he can mean many different things. It can be a person too. It can be a person so set in their ways that that's what this Five of Coins and the Seven of Wands is someone just being really stuck in their ways, and they're going to continue to crash and burn, crash and burn, crash and burn. They're not learning their lessons, right? And sometimes, and I think it was a couple months ago where Taurus came up, where that was their direct message, that you're not, you're bouncing back, you're resilient, but you're not getting the lesson. right? Scorpio is going to come in here and show you the lesson. And that's why I'm trying to get ahead of this. Because that Page of Swords can be very stuck in their ways, right? They're not going to budge. But it's also a card of learning, right? Learning something new, learning something a little bit at a time, okay? Learning from where you've been to where you're going. That's a young energy. It's a new energy. So you're in uncharted territory is where I'm going here, okay? Which Taurus stepping out of their comfort zone of security and things being exactly how they want them, that's new territory. That's where this blessing spot would be the Page of Swords, stepping out and not being stuck in and having to defend the choices that they've made. Because clearly you've got the Five of Coins here, which means you may be sitting in a house full of things, but on the inside you're looking for something, you're empty. So use that blessing spot with the Page of Swords here to step out of your comfort zone a little bit at a time, do something different, learn something different, okay? Because the clarifier is the Seven of Coins. That Seven of Coins can go in one of two ways. It can be a fall from grace, because if you don't make these changes, the universe is going to come in. What Scorpio is going to teach you in here, this rebirth, is we're going to strip you from everything, and you're going to have to start over from scratch, right? And that could be why that Ace of Wands and that Ten of Coins is showing up here, because it is, it is the start of something. It's also a phallic card, right? You've got the Ten of Cups here, which is, it can depict whatever is going on in your day-to-day on your home front, whatever, that is to you. Is it a relationship coming together? Is it, you've got to be balanced in the two, because her eyes are closed, his are open. He's trying to convince her of something, and she's just not on the same page. So you want to get on the same page here, okay? Because you don't want to end up like that Ten of Wands or that Seven of Coins being a fall from grace, right? Because then you've taken on too much responsibilities that maybe you weren't wanting to. That's what that Ten of Wands can mean too. It means you've taken on responsibilities that you clearly don't want and that clearly aren't yours. So the High Priestess is coming in to tell you that, you've got to make conscious choices here, or the harsh realities of life, which you don't see yet behind her screen, are about to rear their face to you, okay? So use that Page of Swords to step out of your comfort zone, use your sword to find clarity. You notice it's right in front of the sun, so that you might not see where you're going, but the sun is coming out, it will guide you, okay? That Seven of Coins is pulling on what you've got now, right? Look where you've been, because it's gotten you to the seven, right? What's got you there? It may not be exactly what you want, but your advice here is to use what you've got right now to propel you forward. Don't wait. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Don't wait for a certain amount of money to be in the bank. This card as a clarifier is saying use what you've got right now to move forward, to go forward, okay? If you don't do that, if you use that sword to just keep, where the Five of Coins is back here and the Seven of Wands, to just keep, defending the spot that you're in, which clearly is not great, right? You're going to have a fall from grace. That's when that the seven that you've acquired is going to be ripped out right from underneath you. And that could come in many different forms. Coins are tangible. They're things on our day-to-days, right? There are jobs, there are relationships, there anything on our day-to-day that's tangible, okay? Now, the Eight of Cups on the outbound is really looking at taking a step back, right? And looking at what fills you. What are your patterns? What are the things that you do that may trip you up? Because the Eight, again, is rebirth, right? That's the outbound. That's going to be the result here. That's going to be what Scorpio shows you. Okay, so that Eight of Cups is, what are you filling your cups with, right? Because you started with the Nine, where you knew, kind of where you were going. But sometimes through life, really, the harsh realities of life trip us up for whatever reason, right? But we're coming in with the Nine and we're ending with the Eight. So something needed to be readdressed. Something needed to be looked at again, right? The Eight of Coins is, Eight of Cups is a card of not being emotionally fulfilled, of really having to look at why that is, right? It doesn't mean that you leave your life or you leave your relationship or you leave something. It just means that, you take a quiet moment to look at where you've been, what you're doing, what might be tripping you up. And again, with that high priestess in the blind spot and the 10 of coins, 10 of wands, she's just saying, you know, let's just look at the conscious choices that we make and the conscious choices that we haven't made. Because sometimes with the karma of all of this is again, it is that harsh reality of life, but it's a ripple effect, and it doesn't ripple through just one part of our lives. It ripples through everything, right? So I just heard really much coming in when I was throwing this. Don't be so stuck in your ways that you're being so stubborn and defensive that you're cutting yourself off. All right, learn the lessons. Admit that you've made some, you know, choices or whatever that weren't really conscious. Right? You may be thinking that you've gotten ahead of it, but you're about to be, like I say, brought to a place where is really for your better good. And sometimes that's, you know, sometimes we really do just make honest mistakes. We really do think we're doing the right thing, but the universe is going to say no. And this is something we don't want you to repeat come the next retrograde. So we're going to give it some sting, and it's going to have some staying power so you don't have to repeat this again. Okay. And again, this is going to play out differently for everyone. Don't put the fear of God in yourself here. Okay. Retrogrades are really just to look at things. They really are to propel us to where we're supposed to be going. Okay. But sometimes that's not within our comfort zone, and that's scary. It absolutely is. But you've got to trust here in yourself, and you've got to know that it is for the greater good. Okay. So be this a relationship, a job, any aspect of your life here, you're being asked to really look at the choices that you've made, and have they served you or have they not? Okay. And just embrace the change that comes up this week, guys, because it's showing up for your greater good. So don't try to fight it. Okay. Just really just, you've got to go with the natural order of things. Okay. So there you have it. I hope that this helped you in some way. It was a little bit longer, but it was for a week. Okay. So I hope that I've helped you in some way. If you need further clarification, just reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. But I just want to touch a little bit on just one little bit, okay, of what that 8th house really is, okay? And this is where, again, we become fully aware, painfully aware, that there are forces way beyond our control here, okay? It can really be fearful. It can be anguish in the mind, anxiety, depression, okay? This house really, they call it the karmic heart, the karmic cop house, because if there's something that you're about to reap your karma here, is what it shows, okay? And that's just energy in and energy out. So it's where you really want to surrender, okay? You really want to have courage here, okay? And you can absolutely do this. This is just being aware. It's awareness, okay? The mind can become your worst enemy here, especially if you're not wanting to get help or let go of attachments, okay? Let things be brought to the light so that you can resolve them, okay? I'm going to say this too, okay? If you are knowing you need to change something and you're not wanting to do it, this is only going to grow. It doesn't mean that, you know, your entire life is going to get wiped out right now, but it means that it'll show up in ways that are like little pinches here and little pinches there, and eventually that 10 of wands here just becomes way too much, and we can get very, very depressed. We can get very, very stuck there, okay? This may need to be to something that really, if you can't get ahead of it, go talk to someone, be it professionally or someone who's been through something, or whatever the go-to place is for you, okay? Because this 8th house really is the bill collector. So what's hidden is absolutely going to come to the surface here. So if you've been evading responsibility to material, spiritual, this is where the karmic cops bust you in this house. So again, I'm not laughing, but sometimes you really just do need to surrender because you're so far over your head that you really just have to have trust in yourself. Trust that you're divinely connected because you are. You may have just lost the direct connect, okay? But it's always there, and it's yours for the taking, okay? The big takeaway from this house is to pay attention and don't be defensive. And given that that's the message that I came in with, you really, really want to pay attention to that, okay? Because in here, the truth sets you free. It really does. It hurts, but it will set you free, okay? All right, I'm going to leave it at that. This is general. It's going to play out different for everyone. I could go on and on and on, but this is general. If you need a private reading, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to do this, okay? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful week.